Right, well, I was planning on doing some videos this week of being out and about. I've got some of my new antenna choices which I'm taking with my Go Pack, which I wanted to share with you and show you some quick and easy ways of getting stuff up when you're on your own in the middle of nowhere. But basically I've got a fracture. It's not really a break, I suppose, but I've got a fracture in my wrist, and it means I can't really do a lot. So I thought a video which might come in handy, and this is specifically for my blog actually, a video which would come in handy, and I get asked quite a lot, and also there's some interest on the blog about the antenna, which I use as well. It's probably my most visited page, or my most visited blog entry, which talks about my antenna choices. I thought what I'd do is I'd go through my shack and I'd show you the shack that I've got, because I think I've got quite a big station, but there's one thing I haven't got, and that's space. So my shack is basically as you see it. It's my monitor and the radio kit next to you, and I'll do a wider shot in a minute so you can see in context that of where all my radio stuff goes. The most important thing for having a small area, because I live in a small house, if you need to occupy a corner somewhere, is to have a very forgiving wife, and thankfully I do. She's quite happy for me to have my area, my domain, shoved away in the corner by the wardrobes. I thought I'd just go through my shack with you and just go through some of the kit I'm running here every day, radio wise, and talk about some of the options and some of the things that I do, which again aren't usually talked about much, but I guess might be useful to somebody. So we'll start from the bottom and work our way up. So at the bottom of the stack is my beloved FT2000. I absolutely love this radio. I bought it as an X-Display model from Martin Lynch back in 2010, I think it was, maybe 2009 I bought it. It's been the one radio which I've consistently come back to every time. I've got plenty of other radios. They're all put away, hidden away, just to keep her indoors happy. It's done me proud. I've taken out to operations. I've operated G100 RSGB with this radio when we were out in Wessex. It's done some contesting. I was proud enough to be invited along by the G5FS boys a few years ago, and I brought it along. We operated 6 meters with that. We did very well with it, and it's just been trouble-free, reliable, and very easy to use. One of the things I love about the radio, there's a knob, there's a switch for everything, and if I need to change something, I can change it. So it's good in that respect. Okay, so next up is the amp that I'm running here at the moment. It's an M0TGN AO11H. Again, I bought it a number of years ago. This is one of two amplifiers which I own. The second amplifier is a Linamp Challenger 4. It's not here at the moment. Don't ask me why I've got two. It's a long and stupid story. And the other amplifier actually sat behind my sofa downstairs for about 2 years, doing nothing, just gathering dust. Never had any RF put through it. But this year it was out in its finest. We ran it through G100 RSGB as part of the Wessex, and indeed next year we'll be going to the Isle of Man with us. That's in 2014, operating as the second station. This one has been all over the place with me as well. This one was used in part of the G100 RSGB. Also went to the Isle of Skye with me 2 years ago now. And again, it's good, faultless, no problems at all. Okay, next up is the ATU. This is a Polestar AT2K. Bought this again a number of years ago. Absolutely fantastic, brilliant. Can't fault this. Can't praise this enough. It will tune anything to anything. If you want to use a coat hanger, well, you can pretty well tune that to it as well. What's lovely about it is it's got 3 inputs: coax 1, coax 2 and bypass. Well, actually you can get 3 inputs on it. There's 2 coaxial inputs and a third one for if you just wanted to loop straight through it. And you've also got another one for a balance line as well. But what, in actual fact, what I've done is I've got just one antenna on it, on coax 1, and the bypass has a big dummy load on it as well, which is hidden way behind all the kit. So that's basically what I've done. I don't usually need to use the ATU, to be absolutely honest with you, but on 20 meters my antenna is quite narrow, and so if I want to go beneath the band and there's a little bit of SWR creeping in, I usually just type to take it out and tune it out a little bit. And also on some of the bands, when it's raining, the characteristics of the antenna change quite a bit, and so what I need to do is just take out some of that change. Okay, and lastly, on the top of the ATU is the rotator controller. This is for a Yaesu G100 DXC. I've got a card which I've put into the back of this as well, made by Idiom Press, which gives me a serial output from that controller as well. Very easy to install. Literally take the lid off, plop it in, connect one lead, and that's it. Screw it down, job's done. That gives me a serial output from that, which allows me to operate it from the computer. Okay, so coming down to my desk area, which I've got here, microphone I'm using, MD200, brilliant. Yeah, enough said about that. It seems to break through all the pile-ups and seems to get me heard. And I tell you what, it did take some setting up, I'll be honest with you. With the actual radio itself, it did take quite a bit of setting up with the equalizers, but there was a program I downloaded which allowed you to graphically look at the representation of the setup with the microphone, and there was a couple of sites out there that had suggested settings as well, which was very useful in fact. And then finally the PC which I'm using, well, I'm actually using a Mac. As you can see, I'm actually using a full-blown Macintosh here on my Mac Mini down in the corner, but I run a VMware PC, and this is a Windows 7 image that I'm running here, and I'm using Ham Radio Deluxe. I've used it through version 4, 5 and now 6. I do pay the support fee. My rationale for that is I use it every single day, and I think it's worthwhile supporting something that you're going to use every single day. So why not? It just seems to work out well. In terms of how it all operates together, I've got, like I said, I mentioned earlier, the rotator card is actually got a COM port on it, and that's really nice, because if I go and type in a typical US call sign, it's telling me here, let me just zoom in for you. The way I have it all connected, you can see down the bottom corner there, it'd be better if I did a screen grab first actually, wouldn't it? You can see down there the actual rotator is pointing due south. That's absolutely as the rotator card is sat as well. I can't hold the camera, you see, that's my problem because of my wrist. And on the screen itself it's telling me that to get this particular call, which is Whiskey 6 Delta India Yankee, just one that I've pulled out, I don't know if it exists. It tells me that its locator is Echo Mike 19 Foxtrot Alpha, and the best bearing for it would be either 300 short path or 120 long path. And the beauty is that if I click on that, the rotator, let me pull it up, instantly starts to move the rotator, which in turn is moving the antenna. Nice and straightforward, very easy. And that was all performed just by clicking on that one thing there. Another great feature as well is that if I click on a call in the DX cluster window as well, let me just show you my layout here. If I click on a call in the DX cluster window over here, there, it'll tune the radio and also give me a suggested bearing that I need to click on, and I just click on that bearing and whoosh, off it will go. I can also click down on the bearing, the rotator window here, I can click on that and that'll take it either way, anywhere I click on that meter. I've also got over here the input for the radio. Typically what I've got is I've just got the band switching, and if I take braking off, also what I do have is I have some pre-recorded audio clips which I can play.
Mike 0, Tango, Golf, November.
Which is just my call sign, for instance. I've got some CQs in there as well, and a couple of other things as well. I think the G100 CQ call is still in there somewhere as well. I've got those programmed in there, ready to go. So that's just a tour of the shack. I'll take you outside in a minute and I'll show you the antenna. Okay, so this is the MQ26SR. We're looking at the reflector here, and at the end of the reflector and the driven element you see that we've got a series of coils and spokes. Moving along the reflector here, I'll just show you one of the big problems I do have with this antenna is that it retains water, and that's a fault which I believe is being rectified now. There's a better look actually of the spokes and the coils. Each spoke is individually tuned to a band, so the long ones are the 20 meters and the short ones are the 10 meters, and they're tapped into the coils, the loading coils at each end. There's the rotator, the other half of the G1000 DXC. I've got a small RG58 choke balun there, and then here we are on the actual driven element. Again, the same arrangement, spokes and coils. So yeah, there you go. That's the MQ26SR.